Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 2. I am going to just sum up the entirety of the last episode as basically this. I went over to Mion's house with Reina to try to confront her over her crimes, and we've learned the long tragic history of Hinamizawa. And then after it looked like as though we were just going to have one last little time together alone with Mion before she turned herself in or just end things herself, we were basically brought down into a secret torture chamber on a Sonozaki property where we were just put through absolute hell before we were rescued. And, well, afterwards it's just been several instances of everybody trying to move on from the incident, but been unable to for one reason or another. With one of the biggest ones being that apparently Mion is still coming back to visit both Keiichi and Shion while they're in the process of moving away and otherwise attacking them. And, well, eventually, Ushi-san visited Keiichi in the hospital, and, well, basically came to ask him some questions while presenting some new information that they've uncovered in the investigation of the underground labyrinth that was in the Shinozaki property. They found the pit where the corpses that Mion dumped the corpses in was found, but they also apparently found Mion herself, who's apparently been in there and been dead since the day of the incident. So that just kind of raised the question of how the hell did Mion come to stab Keiichi several days after the incident, along with possibly pushing Shion to her death when she ended up dying from her apartment and falling to her own death. And on top of that, we also found out that Takano was apparently dead 24 hours by the time that her corpse was found and the autopsy was concluded. But her being dead for 24 hours at that point would have meant that she would have been dead before the Watanagashi festival. So that just basically raised the question, if she was dead, then how the hell were we able to basically meet up with her and go into the ritual storehouse with her, along with Shion and Tomataki, when she was supposed to be dead by that point? I raised the possibility that maybe she ended up dying, being stored in a place here that ended up making her body decompose in such a way to where it would make it look like as though she decomposed faster or something. So it would look like as though she died a lot earlier than what she really did. But of course, I had no idea where she could have been put to have been to where she could decay like that. But I'm just trying to toss theories out there, you know. But yeah, so basically, this incident that started with. After the Watanagashi festival apparently started because of a dead person and ended because of another dead person. So, while we were trying to ponder this little mystery, along comes Mion, all bloodied up and all that shit, and she just basically came and killed Keiichi, I guess. So, yeah. Hell of a mystery on our hands, I gotta say. It definitely does make me wonder. It definitely is making me wonder if what I've seen in the last episode were actual instances of supernatural possession or something to that effect going on. Because if it's not, then the only thing I can conclude is that in Takano's case, she was probably killed after the Watanagashi festival, but she was put in a place to where her body decomposed faster, to where it made it look like she ended up dying sooner than when she actually did. And as for Mion showing up, and apparently being present in both Shion's demise and Keiichi's stabbing in front of his house, well, Shion probably had a fit of insanity, argued back and forth an imaginary version of Mion in her head, and she basically ended up throwing herself off her balcony to her death. As for Keiichi, maybe he also hallucinated Mion coming to visit him and stabbing him. And basically, Keiichi ended up stabbing himself or something. Now, of course, I think that seems to be a very unlikely prospect because, well, in Keiichi's case anyway, I don't think he really experienced quite enough trauma to where he could dream up something like that and stab himself. Shion, maybe, because she was in there for at least a couple days, witnessing people being tortured to death in front of her by Mion. So I could definitely understand her being unstable enough to conjure up something like an imaginary Mion coming to push her to her death or something like that. But Keiichi, not so much. As traumatic as his experience from his perspective certainly was. But what do I know? We all handle trauma differently. So maybe that was enough for him in his case. Because if it's not that, then it's got to be something supernatural going on here. Because either way I look at it, nothing that I see here makes complete sense to me. Because I know I'm missing some key facts here that could help me fully understand what I've witnessed. All I got are basically theories. More questions than answers. So, I'm just going to shut up now, and we're going to do this all-cast review session. Because and I'm speculating that if it's going to be anything like Chapter 1's all-cast review session, everybody's just going to have a good old fun time coming up with their own armchair theories as to what the hell happened in this chapter, and what we're probably going to... And probably... Excuse me. And probably also talk a bit about what we're probably going to see for Chapter 3. So, let's do this. That wasn't a short recap at all. Still, I'm pretty impressed with how it came out. Thank you very much for enjoying Higurashi when they cry, Watanagashi. How'd you like the story this time? Well, it was definitely longer and it felt more fleshed out than Chapter 1. And, well, yeah, I felt that overall it was a longer and more not fulfilling, but rather, not filling either, but yeah, it just felt more fleshed out compared to Chapter 1. It felt like there was definitely much more meat to it this time around on all fronts in the story department, so I definitely appreciated that. Definitely an improvement from Chapter 1. If you enjoyed it even a little, I'm happy. A little nothing. Not again. It was a huge bad ending again, was it not? Yup. It is enough to make me simply furious. I'm furious. I believe you. Look at her face. Look at her face, everybody. This is the face of pure, unbridled, mouth-foaming rage. Well, good work, everyone. Why must you make everything so goddamn confusing for me, Mion? Well, That's how it ended. But don't you think this story was kind of like a Mion chapter? Kind of was, wasn't it? I'm extremely satisfied with how big a role I played. Nyahahaha!
あんなの大活躍とは言いませんですわ。
You cannot call such a thing a success.
私もリカも殺されちゃったですのよ。
Rika and I got killed too, didn't we? I know, that was tragic. Fuck you, Mion.
しかもサトコはただのとばっちりなのですよ。
None of this concerns Satoko at all either. It did? Look what you did. You made the blonde brat cry.
あんな死に方嫌なのですの。
I didn't want to die like that.
ほら泣かないで。
Now, don't cry.
みーちゃんメインのお話だったように、サトコちゃんメインのお話もあるんだから。
There was a story centered around Mi-chan, so there will probably be one that centers around Satoko-chan too.
今から楽しみだね。
Look forward to it. Probably true, isn't it?
きっとサトコがひどい目にあってじわりじわりといたぶり回される話に違いないね。
I'm sure in that story, Satoko suffers some terrible demise in some slow, deliberate way. Mion, please shut up. You're making me dread chapter 3 already. Because, well, okay, so I think if you're right, and that we're gonna get a more Satoko-focused chapter at some point, I'm willing to bet that it's probably gonna be chapter 3. Because, well, chapter 1 was definitely more focused around Reina and Keiichi, but largely Reina. And for chapter 2, we had a more Mion-focused story, as we just gone through. And chapter 3, I'm going to bet it's going to involve Satoko. And why do I think that's the case? Simply put, it's because of the artwork feature. It's because of the banner of the game that I've seen on both Steam and GOG. They all basically feature artwork featuring Satoko up at front and center. So, if that's anything to go by, then, well, I can probably expect future chapters from that point onward, too, to be focused on specific characters, depending on who's primarily featured within the store page banner art for each chapter. We'd probably see one for Keiichi, we'd see one for Rika, so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm willing to bet that chapter 3 might just be a Satoko chapter, just based on the store banner artwork. That is all I'm basing this on. If I'm wrong, then well, I'm wrong. Would you stop making her cry? I don't want that. It's okay, Satoko. I'm sure maybe Keiichi will do something nice for you in your chapter. Like, I don't know, maybe get you a treat or something. He fucking better.
みーちゃん
Mi-chan?
悪ふざけが過ぎるとレナもちょっとだけ怒るよ。
If you joke around too much, you'll make me angry too.
みーがぺったんこなのです。
Mi has a flat chest.
なでなでしたくても頭がわからないのです。
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Mi, as in Mion, has a flat chest? You are talking about Mion, right, Rika? Have you looked at Mion recently? You're not going blind, are you? Your mind wouldn't understand even if it wanted to be petted.
あ、膨らんできましたわ。
Oh, they expanded.
無節操な体ですのね。
Your body is so unchaste.
やあみんな。
Hey everyone.
お疲れさ。
Great work.
また遅れて申し訳ありませんね。
Sorry we're late again.
と 竹さんに大石さん。
Tomitaki-san, Ushi-san.
どうもお疲れ様でした。
Yes, you did a great job as well.
あれ、高野さんとしーちゃんはまだですか？
Where are Takano-san and Shion-chan?
もちろん来てますよ。
They're coming, of
今日はお
course.
招きいただきありがとうございますね。
Thank you for inviting us today.
ここ座ってもいい？
You didn't deserve all the shit that was done to you in this chapter. I mean, holy fucking shit. The retaliation that you faced was just totally out of this world. May I sit here?
どうぞですわよ。
Yes, go right ahead.
これだけ一堂に集まると圧巻ね。
With all of us here, this is sure to be the best part.
どうかお手柔らかに。
Please, go easy on me. How were you alive during the festival? Give me
じ
answers.
ゃあ始めても大丈夫かな。
Then should we get started?
これで全員かな。
Is this everyone?
圭一を除けば全員なのです。
Everyone but Keiichi.
ってことは前原さんは相変わらず収録が終わってなくて早々に次回シナリオの台本読みなんですか？
Which means Maibara-san is as busy as ever recording the script. Has he already started recording the script for the next story? No, he just doesn't have character sprites.
気の毒な話ね。
How unfortunate.
私たちだけで盛り上がっちゃ悪い気がするわ。
It doesn't feel right to leave him out.
高野さん、そんなの気にしなくていいんですよ。
Neo-san, you don't have to worry about that.
こういう時は思いっきり盛り上がった方がかえって気を使わせないもんなんです。
At times like these, going all out is actually a way of showing consideration.
それもそうですわね。
That's true, isn't it?
せっかくこれだけ集まったのにお通夜じゃつまらないですわ。
We're all here for once. Holding a wake would be boring.
じゃあ圭一君には悪いけど僕たちでやらせてもらおうか。
Sorry, Keiichi-kun, but we'll take things from here.
となれば決まりだね。
It's decided.
じゃあみんなコップコップ。
Okay, everyone, get the cups.
炭酸が嫌いな人いる？
Does anyone not like carbonated drinks?
大人の皆さんにはアルコールもありますよ。
There's alcohol for the adults, too.
リカちゃんは何を飲む？
Rika-chan, what will you have?
ブドウジュース？
Grape juice?
オレンジジュース？
Orange juice?
みー。
Me! Somebody bring this girl some me!
富竹のと同じ泡麦茶がいいのです。
I want what Tomitaki's having.
こーら
Hey!
リカちゃんもお酒はダメ。
Rika-chan, you're not allowed to drink.
みんなコップ持ちましたですの？
Has everyone got their cups?
早く乾杯しないとジュースがぬるくなってしまいますわ。
If we don't make a toast soon, my juice will get warm.
おねえ、温度は誰が取るの？
Who will lead me on?
レナでいいでしょ。
Reina should do it.
じゃあレナよろしく。
Okay, Reina, go ahead.
では
Then,
5本。
ahem.
みんな綿流し終了。お疲れ様でした。
Everyone, excellent work. The Watanagashi chapter is now over.
お疲れ様でした。
Thank you!
じゃあみんな揃ったんだしね。
Okay, everybody's here.
また今回のシナリオを議論してみないかい？
Shall we debate the story again?
そうですね。
I think so.
じゃあ自由意見でいきましょうか。
Then let's get some honest opinions. Okay, peeps, what do you got for me?
誰か意見のある人はいますか？
Does anyone here have something to say?
意見も何も今回のシナリオで謎は全て解けたのではありませんこと？
What is there to say? Weren't all the mysteries solved in this chapter? Well, it would seem that on the surface of things, a large chunk of the mysteries have been solved. I mean, the Sonozakis did a lot of it. But what they didn't do, as far as I'm concerned, was basically use witchcraft to bring Takano up from the dead to basically allow Keiichi and Toмотaki to break into the storehouse. And then, of course, well, I maybe also bring Mion back to life as well after she apparently died. So, yeah, we still got some questions here.
犯人はミオンさん。
The criminal was Mion-san.
諸悪の根源は全部園崎家。
The root of all the evil was the Sonozaki family.
それで決着でございませんの？
Was that not the conclusion?
そうだね。
I see.
兄ちゃんは犯人じゃないって信じてたんだけどな。
I was so sure that Mi-chan wasn't the criminal.
大甘ですよ。
Too naive.
こんなのは前回の鬼隠しから十分予想できたことじゃないですか。
This was entirely predictable from the previous Onikakushi chapter, was it not?
むしろ予想通りすぎて呆れちゃうくらいですよ。
I don't know. I didn't think it was too terribly predictable at the end. Well, in some respects, anyway. In fact, it's almost shocking how predictable it was.
そうですね。
You're right.
前回のシナリオをプレイされた方の予想の大多数と合致するんじゃないでしょうかね。
It probably did along with most of the predictions made by players of the previous scenario.
みんなの期待通りの展開になったみたいなのです。
It's like the story went exactly as everyone expected.
じゃあ、これで日暮の泣く頃に水のメインシナリオはほとんど終わりなのかな？
Then, does that mean the main Higurashi when they cry scenario is pretty much over?
すべての元凶はみーちゃんの園崎家で決まり？
So it's a sure thing that the root of everything was Mi-chan's family?
そうかしら。
I wonder. Well, considering how we have 7 chapters total, including an 8th one I think is still being translated by Manga Gamer, and then of course console exclusive arcs, which I will eventually be getting to at some point. I will have to say probably not. There's probably a lot more to this here than what we've seen so far. I wonder.
私はむしろこれで園崎家犯人説はなくなったと思ってるくらいだけれど。
In fact, I think that all this means the theory of the Sonozakis being the guilty party has been disproven.
あ、高野さんと意見が合いましたね。
Oh, you had the same opinion, Neosekken.
私も同じ意見。
I think the same way. Could either of you explain to me why you think that them being behind everything has been disproven?
私はタタリなんか信じないけど。
Though I still don't believe in curses.
でも少なくとも園崎家が真犯人である確率は薄くなったと思ってるね。
At the very least, however, I think the chances of the Sonozaki family being the true criminals has gone down. I disagree.
あ、
Huh?
どうしてなの？
Why is that? I mean, seriously, let's think about this for a second. Considering how Chapter 1 ended, somebody covered up some of the evidence that Keiichi uncovered, and most importantly, that syringe and part of his note. Someone who was involved with the investigation, who was probably involved in the investigation. And we've basically very well established in this chapter that the Sonozaki family was a very powerful and influential family in Hinamizawa and even Okinomiya. So, I wouldn't be surprised at all if in Chapter 1, maybe some people from the Sonozaki family, thinking that this incident could come back to haunt them in some way, just got involved and hid away some evidence that looked like it could possibly implicate them in some way. As for this one, well, I mean, for crying out loud, you're a member of the Sonozaki family, are you not, Mion? I'd say that makes... and, yeah, just... Again, explain it to me. Huh? Why is that?
だってみーちゃんがみんなを殺したって自供したじゃない。
Didn't Mi-chan confess that she killed everyone?
そうですわ。
That's right.
私とリカを殺しておいて、今さら犯人じゃないなんてどういう意味なんですの？
She killed Rika and me. So what do you mean that she isn't the criminal after all that?
別に煙に巻くつもりはないよ。
I'm not trying to confuse you or anything. Well, you've confused me anyway, so good going.
たださ、私ミオンが全ての犯人だとするにはいろいろと無理が多いんだよ。
It's just that I think there are a lot of things that don't go along with Mion being the one behind everything. Such as...
ちょっと考えればすぐわかるよ。
If you think about it a little, you'll get it.
僕は園崎家犯人説の近からず遠からずに真相があると確信してるんだけど。
I believe the truth to be more or less in line with the Sonozaki family theory.
ぜひミオンちゃんの説が聞きたいね。
But I'd love to hear your theory, Mion-chan.
ではご拝聴。
Then hear me out. Okay, I'm open to having my perspective changed a bit here if you got something that can help me change it. So go right ahead. Try to convince me.
ラストで私がさ、過去の事件に自分は全て関与しているって白状するでしょ？
Near the end, I confess that I participated in the past incidents, right? If you mean the disappearances and murders that have occurred for the past several years before the events of Chapter 2, then yes, you did. That's correct.
あそこで感じた大きな違和感が根拠かな。
I thought something wasn't really right about that, so I guess that's my basis. I'm just thinking about it. Like taking time to actually think about how she could have been involved in any of those incidents. So, let's see. Toko's parents fell to their deaths. In their investigation, if I recall, it was brought up, the possibility of them being murdered or pushed to their deaths was brought up, but there was no conclusive evidence that was found here to support that theory. So their deaths were basically was written off as like an accident or something. Rika's father, he died of illness, and Rika's mother supposedly ended up drowning herself. And then as for Satoko's aunt and Satoshi, well, in the case of Rika's mother and Satoko's parents, they probably could have been carried out by people under Mion's orders or something to have, I don't know, had Satoko's parents pushed off, to have Rika's mother demoned away. For all we know, Rika's father might have been poisoned or something. Hence why his health declined until he ultimately passed away to something that resembled illness. And as for, Stoko's aunt was pretty much killed by a deranged thug. I mean, the criminal in that case was caught. And as for Satoshi being demoned away, again, you probably could have just had him demoned away or something. You didn't have to directly participate in any of these incidents in order to have had a hand in them, is what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, move on. I'm sorry for interrupting.
だって考えてみなよ。
I mean, think about it.
過去の事件が園崎家の起こしたものならすごいことだよ。
If the incidents of the past were caused by the Sonozaki family, that would be crazy.
だってどれもほぼ完全犯罪でしょ？
I mean, wouldn't they all be perfect crimes? Yeah, it would be crazy, but I mean, we saw that torture chamber on the premises of the Sonozaki household. That big underground labyrinth and torture cells and the prison cells. There was no way something like that was just conjured up overnight, or even within the span of a month or something. Flat out impossible.
園崎家以外の犯人や事故で決着するという究極の犯罪だもの。
They were all attributed to other criminals or simple accidents, after all.
そりゃそうでしょう。
Well, that's right.
だって大きな力を持つ園崎家が暗躍してるんだもの。
The Sonozaki family is very powerful, and they were acting behind the scenes.
完全犯罪なんてお茶の子さいさいでしょ。
When pulling off perfect crimes be child's play for them.
そこが違和感なんだよ。
That's just it. That's the weird thing.
過去4年間園崎本家の気配を全く感じさせずにあれだけ上手に人を殺したり消したりしてきたんだよ。
The Sonozaki family had been killing and erasing people so well for the last 4 years that they didn't even let out a hint that they were behind it, right?
そこへ行くと5年目の事件はすごくチープなんだよ。
But the incident in the 5th year, now that was really cheap.
手当たり次第に片っ端から消して殺して。
They were killing and erasing people at random. Well, not really. If you're talking about this game's events or after the Tatarigoroshi festival, I mean, I think it was already established that it was the result of those guys just basically breaking into the ritual implement storehouse.
しかも園崎家とのつながりは簡単に看破できちゃうしさ。
Any idiot could have seen a connection with the Sonozaki family.
そう言われてみればそうだね。
Now that I think about it, you're right.
過去の事件はたたりとも犯罪ともつかない不思議な連続事件だったけど。
The incidents in the past were all mysterious. Nobody could tell if they were because of the curse or just simple crimes.
今回の5年目の事件だけはすごく乱暴だったもんね。
But then on the 5th year, they suddenly got really violent.
何を言ってるのかよくわかりませんわ。
I do not understand what you were saying.
リカにはわかります？
Rika, do you?
つまり園崎家が本当に犯人なら5年目の事件ももっともっと上手にやったと言っているのですよ。
She means that if the Sonozaki family were the real criminals, then they would have done a much, much better job with the incident on the 5th year. Putting it that way? Yeah. I guess that is a fair point.
じゃあつまり何ですの？
So, what does that mean?
私とリカを殺したのはミオンさんではなく、ミオンさんに取り付いた鬼の仕業だったってことですの？
Mion-san wasn't the one who killed Rika and me, but it was the work of a demon who possessed Mion-san? I'm still largely going with the idea that she just simply went off the deep end. I mean, what I saw in the last episode definitely has, I think, opened the possibility of some supernatural elements going on. Yes, but it's nothing definite. Call me stubborn if you wish here, but again, as far as I'm concerned, the strange autopsy reports for Takano-san and Takano-san's body could have been a result of her body being stored somewhere in a place that made her decay faster. And as for Mion-san, well, yeah, everything surrounding the incident, the day of the incident itself, and then after the fact, especially after the fact, that is most certainly strange. But it's still very well possible that Shion could have hallucinated Mion having found her and tracked her down and getting into a fight with her before accidentally killing herself. And Keiichi probably could have dreamt up something similar too and stabbed himself. The only thing that's really missing from that theory is, well, as far as I'm concerned, was Keiichi truly traumatized enough here to have dreamt up something that severe? And if that's true, where the hell did he get the tool to stab himself like that from? All of a sudden, like that, right out of the blue. Yeah, okay, so the possibility, like I said, the possibility exists, but I'm just not going to fully embrace it just yet. Just a slight, as anything more than a slight possibility and nothing more.
ほらほら、
Come now.
やっぱり前回の私の予想通り、ミオンさんは悪い人じゃなかったのですわ。
Just like I thought last time, Mion-san wasn't a bad person after all, was she?
そうそう。
That's right.
レナもサトコちゃんも何かが取り付いて悪いことをしてるって意見だったもんね。
Satoko-chan and I both thought she was doing bad things because she was possessed by something.
じゃあ、やっぱり私たちの説は正しかったのかな？
Then, does that mean our theory was right?
私も前回から引き続きたたり説ですが、今回のシナリオでさらに確信を深めましたよ。
I've been supporting the curse theory since the last after party, and the story this time makes me all the more convinced it's true.
ラストのラストで私が明かす
That fact revealed at the very end.
目撃されていたにもかかわらず、その数日前に死んでいたという高野さんやミオンさんの情報はまさにそれを裏付けると思います。
The information regarding how Mion-san and Takano-san had died days before, despite being witnessed, seems to indeed support that theory.
あらあら、
Oh my.
前回は弱かったたたり派が今回は随分強気ね。
I see the curse believers, who seemed unconfident last time, have grown quite a bit more self-assured.
人間犯人説の皆さんには反論はないのかしら？
Do any of those who think it was a human have any objections? I've already voiced my objections, so I'll just let everyone else voice theirs.
前回人間犯人説だったのは確かみーちゃんのリカちゃん。
Last time, Mi-chan and Rika-chan were the ones who thought it was the work of a person.
それから富武さんでしたよね。
Tomitaki-san did too, didn't he?
では張り切って反論をお願いします。
Okay, let's hear what you've got then.
参ったな。
You got me there.
うまい言葉が思いつかないな。
I can't quite find the right words.
たたり派の根拠の一つが合わない死亡時刻なんですよね。
One of the pieces of evidence for the curse theory is the mismatching times of death, right?
じゃあそのトリックを崩せれば人間犯人説は立証できるわけですね。
So if I could disprove that theory, it would prove that a human did it, wouldn't it? Well, it wouldn't completely prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that a human did it, to be fair, as far as I'm concerned. But it would certainly make the idea that a demon or a curse had a hand in what happened this time around certainly a lot less likely.
シオンには何かいい反論があるの？
Oh, Shion, do you have a good objection?
まあ一応。
Well, I suppose.
でも私、人間犯人説ではお姉と同じ意見ですけど、園崎家が主犯だと思ってる点ではお姉とは違いますよ。
I have the same opinion as you, Mion, that I was a human. But I don't think the Sonozaki family were the main culprits either.
それでもよければ反論してみせますけど。
If it's okay with you, I'll offer my objections.
何でも結構ですわ。
Show us what you've got.
これがたたりじゃないというなら、その証拠を示してごらんなさいませ。
If you say it wasn't a curse, then let's hear your evidence.
じゃあシオンちゃん、
Okay, Shion-chan.
さっきから話題になってるラストのトリック。
That last trick we've been talking about.
ミオンちゃんは事件当日に井戸に落ちて死んでいたにもかかわらず、数日後に現れて圭一君とあなたを殺したのはどうやってなのかしら？
Despite Mion-chan having died the day of the incident from falling into the well, how did she appear days later to kill you and Keiichi-kun?
ズバリ、園崎姉妹共犯説です。
Here it is, my Sonozaki sisters' conspiracy theory.
理由は簡単。
My reason is simple.
だってお姉はあの時点でもう死んでるんですから、ケイちゃんをさせるのは私しかいないんです。私がお姉の変装してケイちゃんを刺す。
If Mion was dead by that time, then the only person who could have stabbed Kei-chan was me. I disguised myself as Mion and stabbed him. I did bring up that possibility before, didn't I? But if you ended up dying at around approximately the same time that Keiichi was stabbed by Mion, then there was no way you could have gone. There was no way that you could have gone to Keiichi's house and then off yourself that quickly.
そして実質へ戻り、幽霊との取っ組み合いの狂言をして飛び降り自殺。
Then I went back to my room, pretended to have a tussle with a ghost, then jumped right down and killed myself.
強いて言えば、この場合のミオンちゃんは泥をかぶる役だね。
So we can get down to it, Mion-chan, in this case, would be the one to take the blame.
村長さんたちに直接手を下し、シオンちゃんはただの被害者の形にする。
She would take care of the mayor in person, and Shion-chan would be made into merely a victim.
そして井戸の中に姿を隠していれば、変装したシオンちゃんが神出鬼没にいくらでも殺人を犯せるって寸法さ。
If she hid herself in the well, the disguised Shion-chan could show up where she pleased and murder whoever she wanted. All planned from the start.
なるほどね。
I get it.
だとすると、ミオンさんにとっての誤算は2つ。
The Mion-san made two mistakes.
死体が見つかってしまったことと、隠れているだけのつもりが死んでしまったこと。
First was that her corpse was found, and second was dying when she only planned to hide.
ってことになるわけですね。
That's what it would mean.
あれれれ。
Oh, well now.
確かになんとなく辻褄が合うような。
There is something logical about that.
でもやっぱり納得できないでしょう。
However, I'm still not convinced.
過去の完全犯罪の華麗さと違いすぎるもの。
It was too different from the magnificent perfect crimes in the past.
その計画、たとえうまくいってもミオンは悪役でしょ。
Even if their plan went well, Mion would end up the bad guy, wouldn't she?
一生隠れて、あるいはシオンのふりをしたりして生きていかなきゃならないんでしょ。
She would either have to hide the rest of her life or live pretending to be Shion, wouldn't she?
窮屈すぎ。
That would be too constrained. Yeah, that and you're supposed to be the heir to the Sonozaki line, so... Again, also a fair point.
こんなの完全犯罪とは言わないって。
You can't call that a perfect crime.
つまり死ぬにせよ消えるにせよミーはいなくなってしまうわけなのです。
In other words, whether by dying or disappearing, me would have to go away.
リカちゃま、それいい意見。
Rika-chama, that's a good thought.
つまり園崎ミオンが表舞台からいなくなるのは彼女らのシナリオの一部だと思うわけです。
That means we should consider that Mion Sonozaki leaving the stage was part of their plan.
だからラストでミオンはポンポンと過去の事件の罪をかぶるんですよ。
That's why, at the end, Mion took the blame for all the incidents in the past. But that would mean that someone else was ultimately masterminding this whole thing. And that Mion wasn't the true mastermind of this whole thing.
全部の事件の責任を一身に引き受けて退場。
She took responsibility for all of them herself, then left.
そうすることで過去の事件の真犯人を隠蔽できる。
By doing that, she could cover up the true culprit behind the past incidents.
つまり今年の事件はチープなんかじゃなく、過去の事件を丸ごと完全犯罪にするための締めくくりの事件。
Which means that this incident wasn't shabby. Its purpose was to cement all the past incidents as perfect crimes.
そういう位置づけになるのかな。
I suppose that's what it comes down to.
一番疑われている園崎家の若き当主が全てを自白して失踪。
The young leader of the Sonozaki family, who was the biggest suspect, confessed to everything and disappeared.
彼女もしくは 園崎家以外の真犯人にとってこれほど美味しい結末はないってことになるのかしらね。
For her, or perhaps for the non-Sonozaki true culprit, there likely was no more favorable outcome.
話が全然わかりませんのよ。
But that just begs the question. Why would Mion deliberately take the fall then? Who is she protecting exactly? I don't understand even an inch of your conversation. You gotta work on the centimeters first, Satoko.
ミオンさんが罪をかぶるってどういう意味ですの？
What do you mean by Mion-san taking the blame?
犯人なんじゃないんですの？
Is she not the culprit?
つまりね、
Let me put it this way.
連続開始事件の真犯人が別にいるの。
The true culprit behind the serial freak death incidents was somebody else.
その人を守るために、みーちゃんが過去の事件もすべて自分が起こしたと嘘の告白をしたってみんなは言ってるの。
Mi-chan gave a fake confession that she caused all the previous incidents to protect that person. Or so everyone's saying.
これは劇中のセリフになりますが、とんだ名探偵さんがいたもんです。
My. I said this during the story, but it seems we have an incredible detective on our hands.
確かにちょっと説得力を感じますよ。
Yes, it does seem a bit persuasive.
真の犯人をごまかすために起こした事件。
An incident started to throw the scent off the true criminal.
それが私の推理。
That's my reasoning.
さらに言えば、その真の犯人は園崎家以外の存在だと思ってるんだけど
Though
ね。
if I go further, I think the true culprit isn't part of the Sonozaki family. Then who do you think it is?
4年連続で完全犯罪に成功した謎の人物をさらに守るためにミオンちゃんが起こした捜査か乱の事件ということかしら。
So it was Mion-chan disrupting the incident to further protect the mystery person who pulled off perfect crimes 4 years running then.
そういうことです。
That's right.
鬼隠しのシナリオで名前だけ登場した監督ってのがかなり怪しいかな。
The manager who only appeared by name in the last story is pretty suspicious if you ask me. Yeah, I forgot. There was a manager, wasn't there?
すごいです。
Amazing.
実に辻褄が合いますのですよ。
It really does all add up. Honestly, to me, no it doesn't. Because, again, this whole theory centers around the idea of Mion deliberately throwing herself under the bus to protect some mystery person who was responsible for all the previous murders and disappearances. So, who could she possibly have been willing to protect? Where she'd be willing to essentially throw away literally everything for the sake of this mystery person? Who is it? And why would they have so much importance to Mion to that degree? And if they're not a member of the Sonozaki family, then again, once again I ask, who the hell are they? Why would she do this for some mystery person who was responsible for all the previous incidents? This doesn't really make sense to me. It really does add all up. Clap, clap, clap.
私はそれでも園崎家プラス姉妹が犯人だと思ってますけどね。
I still think the Sonozaki family and the sisters are the culprits, though.
御三家による古いしがらみを断ち切るために姉妹が起こした過去の清算のための事件。
An incident caused by the sisters to sever their old fetters to the three families, to clear away the past.
それが私の推理です。
That's my theory.
過去の清算ってのはつまり
Clearing away the past.
暗躍の歴史に終止符を打つため御三家の罪を最後の当主のミオンが全てかぶり姉妹揃って退場したってことだね。
You mean that they placed the blame for the three families' crimes on their final leader, Mion, to put an end to a dark history. And then the two of them left. and possibly took the entirety of Hinamizawa down with them, courtesy of the village probably getting abandoned if the dam project was brought up after the fact while the village was in chaos. Good going.
そういうことです。
That's right.
私たち姉妹が悩みに悩み抜いた末に選んだ悲しい物語だったというわけです。
It would make a sad story where these sisters finally choose to end it after a lot of worry.
できすぎですね。
We went a little too far.
すごいです。
Amazing.
実に辻褄が合いますですよ。
It really does all add up. Clap, clap, clap.
あれあれ
Wait, what?
なんだかリカちゃんにも意見がありそうだね。
Looks like Rika-chan has an opinion too.
リカちゃんもどうぞ。
Go ahead, Rika-chan.
では、皆さんに質問なのです。
I have a question for you all.
ケイチはどうして刺されなければいけないのですか？
Why did Keiichi need to get stabbed?
リカ、そんなのは決まってますわよ。
We already know why that is, Rika.
入っちゃいけない細具店に勝手に入ったから決まってますわ。
It's obviously because he went in the forbidden storehouse without asking.
こうして思い返すと、他のシナリオでも死んだ富武さんと高野さんの死もきっと細具殿に忍び込んだせいってことなんでしょうな。
Thinking back on it now, Tomotaki-kun and Takano-sen probably died in the previous story because they snuck into that storehouse, eh? Yeah, I guess that's possible. We only saw them technically after the festival ended in Chapter 1, during that night. Didn't we?
ありゃ？
おかしなことになってきたわね。
That is rather strange indeed. Huh?
おかしなことって
What is
何が
it?
ですか？
What is it that's strange? Ah,
レナさん、そうですわ。
that's right.
思い出してくださいませ。
Won't you think back, please?
そうなのです。
That's right.
例えば、鬼隠しのシナリオでは、ケイイチは細具殿には忍び込んでいないのに、命を狙われているのです。
In the previous scenario, they were after Keiichi's life even though he didn't sneak into the ritual storehouse. Yeah, that's true. In that chapter, the whole idea was that they were going after him because he wasn't a native to Hinamizawa. Murmur.
それはきっと
Well,
ほ
that's
ら
because... Yeah.
ひなみ沢はよそ者を嫌うんだろ。
Hinamizawa hates outsiders, right?
だからケイイチ君も命を狙われたんだよ。
That's why they tried to kill Keiichi-kun.
それはおかしいでしょう。
That'd be strange, though.
だったらケイちゃんの両親だって襲われていいはず。
They should have attacked Kei-chan's parents too in that case.
どう見ても両親に危機が迫っていたようには見えないね。
No matter how you looked at it, though, his parents never seemed to be in much danger. Also, fair point.
今回だけでなく他のシナリオでも。
Either this time or the last.
さあさあ、人間犯人説の皆様方。
Hear that? Everyone who thinks it was a human's doing?
ケイイチさんが狙われる理由がちゃんと説明できませんと、人間が犯人とは立証できませんでしたよ。
Unless you can properly explain the reason Keiichi-san's life was threatened, you can't definitely prove the criminal was human, can you?
でもたたり説だとしても、やはり前原さんが前回も今回も襲われる理由が分かりませんけどね。
Even with the curse theory, however, we don't know why Maibara-san was attacked this time or last time.
もう一息で解明できそうだったけど、
With a little more, we would have had it.
やっぱり謎はたくさん残ってるみたいだね。
There are still a lot of mysteries remaining.
ケイイチ君以外の人の死には何かしら理由が見つけられるんだけど、
We can find
ケイ
some.
イチ君だけなぜかいつも曖昧。
We can find some kind of reason for everyone but Keiichi-kun to die. But for some reason, Keiichi-kun's death is always vague.
鬼隠しでもたらい回しでも、そして今回の綿流しでも。
Last time in Onikakushi and Tatarigoroshi? Excuse me. Tatarigoroshi? Is that some kind of, like, console exclusive arc or something? Because I don't remember playing anything that had Tatarigoroshi in the title. Just Onikakushi and, well, this chapter, Watanagashi. Well, how about that? I guess I missed something.
西宮殿に踏み入るのとは無関係に狙われてる。
He was being targeted regardless of whether he went to the ritual storehouse.
では今回だけではなく他のシナリオでも殺されるようなことをしちゃってるんじゃありませんこと？
Then does that not mean he was doing something that got him killed both last time and this time?
なるほど。
I see.
他のシナリオと今回の前原さんの行動に共通項が見つけられれば、それが全体の事件の謎を解く鍵になりそうですね。
If we can find something in common about Maibara-kun's actions between last time and this time, it seems like it would be the key to unraveling all the incidents. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head was his curiosity into looking into the history behind this town, behind Hinamizawa, when a possible lead is stuck right in front of his nose, and just delving deep, deep, deep until he gets too deep, and, well, yeah. So that's the only thing I can think. Yeah, again, just sticking his nose too far is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
ざっとシナリオを読み比べたけど、ケイチ君なりに日々を送ってると思うよ。
I skimmed through the stories again, but I think he's going about his life in his own way.
西宮殿の一件さえ除けば、ケイチ君の日々の暮らしに不審な点は見当たらないけどな。
Though aside from the part of the storehouse, I didn't spot anything suspicious about his daily lifestyle.
ケイチ君、今回と他のシナリオの時に何をやったのかな？
Keiichi-kun, what did you do both last time and this time? Well, as we basically established in last episode, because the storehouse was broken into, regardless of whether Keiichi went in or not, Rika was going to get killed along with Tomitaki and Takano regardless. If we accept that Mion was behind their deaths, and as far as I'm concerned, all the evidence points to her being behind those deaths at the very least. So maybe Keiichi just actually didn't do anything in this chapter, well, or in the last chapter to warrant anything happening to him. That should just happen to him just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And if that's the case, that would basically mean that in chapter 1 as well, there was some stuff going on behind the scenes that just, well, that was just occurring. There was just stuff going on behind the scenes that would have likely occurred no matter what Keiichi did. So, did I just repeat myself? I think I did. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if he actually did anything at all.
殺されるような悪いことは
Something bad that would cause you to be killed.
迷った時には本人に聞いてみるのが一番なのですよ。
It's best to ask the person himself when you're unsure.
ほほう、
Oh.
俺が一人寂しく次回の台本読みをしている間にみんなはそういう話題で盛り上がっていたわけか。
So while I was reading the script for the next game all by myself, you were all talking about me behind my back, huh?
ほう、
I see.
そういうわけなの。
Well, that's that.
だからね、ケイチくんの自分の胸に聞いてみてほしいんだけど。
Anyway, Keiichi-kun, you should try asking your own heart.
ケイちゃん、殺されるようなどんな悪いことをやったわけ？
Kei-chan, so what kind of bad thing did you do that would get you killed?
私にいつも働いている狼藉のせいに違いないですわ。
It must surely be all the violent things he does towards me. Maybe 2% of them.
僕に時々危ない視線を向けて妄想に浸っている顔はまさに犯罪者そのものなのです。
The way he sometimes directs a dangerous gaze my way and makes strange deluded expressions is surely a criminal act. You won't get any argument from me on that one.
そうそう。
Yeah, yeah.
年頃の女の子たちに囲まれて毎日幸せってのがそもそもの罪のような気がするな。
Being happy all day, surrounded by girls around his age, is kind of like a crime. It was kind of like a crime in the first place. Tomitake, are you saying it's a crime for a penis to be surrounded by vaginas? I'm sorry, that sounded a lot more degrading than I wanted it to sound. I'm sorry. But yeah, point is, so what if your friends just so happen to be all girls? I mean, sometimes life just deals you cards like that, you know?
それは確かに重罪ですね。
A grave crime indeed.
前原さん、実に羨ましい主人公役ですよ。
Maibara-san is truly an envious main character, isn't he? You make him sound like the protag of a harem series.
たまには変わってください。
Switch out me once in a while, would you?
まあ確かにあれだけ役得がいろいろあれば最後にちょっと刺されるくらいお安いご用よね。
Well, with all those perks, getting stabbed at the end really isn't much of a price to pay. I disagree. If having too many female friends is likely to get me stabbed at some point, I wouldn't do it. I would make damn sure that I was surrounded by more dicks than vaginas.
というわけでケイチさん、
Well, there you go, Keiichi-san.
あなたの犯した罪を思い出しまして。
Have you remembered the crimes you've committed?
今回も他のシナリオでも
Both this time and last
清
time.
く正しく生きてる俺がいつもラストはひどい目に。
I live a proper and just life, and I always meet a terrible fate in the end.
その上さらに自分の胸に聞いてみろだと。
What was that about ask my own heart?
聞きたいのは俺の方だぞ。これは何かの暴力だ。
I'm the one who wants to know. This is bullying.
かわいそかわいそです。
How sad, how sad.
今度頭をなでなでしてあげますですよ。
I'll pet your head next time for you.
今回のシナリオを読んだ上で改めて鬼隠しを読むべきかな。
I wonder if we should go back and read Onikakushi again after reading this one.
私はミオンの立場になって綿流しを読み返してみるよ。
I'm going to put myself in Mion's shoes and read back over Watanagashi.
ケイちゃんの立場で読んだ時とは違う発見があるかもね。
Maybe I'll find something different compared to when I read it from Kei-chan's point of view.
私は鬼の仕業だとずーっと思ってますのよ。
I will always think it was the doing of a demon.
すべての現象とトリックはすべて鬼で説明がつきますのよ。
All the events and tricks can be explained with a demon. I'd rather believe that it was all the machinations of a deranged Santa Claus.
なんだかプラズマみたいなのです。
It's kind of like plasma.
プレイしてくださった皆さんはどうお感じになりましたか？
What did you, the readers, think about it? Santa Claus is the main culprit.
ぜひ先に進む前にいろいろと推理してみてくださいね。
We'd certainly like to hear your thoughts and opinions.
まだまだ先は長いですけど頑張ってくださいね。
There's still a way to go, but do your best.
それでは引き続き日暮らしの泣く頃に水をお楽しみください。
With that, please look forward to the rest of the Higurashi series. In spite of everything, I honestly think I can say that my opinion hasn't really changed much from the conclusion of Chapter 1. I still largely think that people are still responsible for what went on in this chapter, and most likely what happened in Chapter 1 as well. But I will concede that a slight hole has been opened for the possibility of a supernatural element to have a role in what's going on. Okay, that doesn't make sense for how I said it, so let me rephrase. I will admit that the possibility does seem a bit more likely now. Only a bit more likely, but it's still more all the same, that some supernatural elements may be involved here. But at the end of the day, that's still all it is to me. Just a possibility. A very slight one at that. I still need something more concrete. The biggest contender I have here regarding how that supernatural elements might have been at play here for Chapter 2 was Mion being present to stab Keiichi, and the circumstances surrounding all that here, because it wouldn't quite mesh. Because as I've already speculated, if Mion basically just went crazy and basically imagined having a confrontation with Mion in her apartment and accidentally throwing herself off her balcony, I could understand that, because by that point she clearly had to have suffered enough trauma here to, well, have hallucinations like that sort of thing. Like what she was apparently having for even days leading up to that, as was told in witness accounts. Keiichi, though, on the other hand, I'm still not sure if he could have suffered enough trauma, if he did ultimately, from his perspective anyway, suffer enough trauma to warrant such a thing happening, warrant a similar reaction, where he hallucinated Mion coming to visit and attacking them. Especially because now that I think about it, all the way up until that very point, he hasn't shown any enough serious mental trauma to where he was jumping at shadows. I mean, he was worried about the possibility of Mion coming to attack him, yes, but not to a point to where he was clearly absolutely rattled and on edge about it. So how then could he have imagined Mion being there and stabbing him like she did? I honestly can't say. It's very interesting for sure. This is the one thing that I'm iffy on, is how all this could have happened the way it did, given all the evidence that we've seen. Otherwise, I still think everything else that happened in this chapter could have been done by people. I wonder what Chapter 3 will bring us. More evidence towards people having done it, or maybe more evidence to support something supernatural at play. Or maybe it's both. That's always a possibility. And Anyway, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end things here and bring Chapter 2 of Higurashi When They Cry to a close. If you stuck with me all the way from the beginning of Chapter 2, and even maybe been here from Chapter 1, well, I hope that you enjoyed my Let's Play of Chapter 2 of Higurashi When They Cry. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any plans to, and if you have any desire to see me cover Chapter 3, well, that is going to happen. So maybe I'll see you back then. Either way, take care. Have a good day.